you.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you.
The best of the best that's out there. And you're in, I want to say Dayton. Is that correct?
No, I'm in
I knew it
Southwest
wasn't
Ohio, but I'm like equidistant between Dayton and Cincinnati. So I'm in Westchester, Ohio. In Butler County, we have over 390,000 people in Butler County alone. We're the 8th largest county in the state.
Yeah, I know. Well, you've been on a lot, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it, and I should have it memorized. But I have. I'm telling you, I've lost a lot of brain cells over the years. We're going to talk about some of the House bills that you've enacted, and we'll talk about those. There's a couple of them. We'll talk some politics, and we are also going to discuss a little bit later. I want to get into all the fraud that's been going on in Minnesota. Boy, that state is fraud-ridden, especially with the Somalians. The Somalians are overrunning the welfare system of Minnesota, but
allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, I don't know. There's so much proof. I don't even know if you have to say allegedly, but we'll say it. But the other thing is, it's already shifted gears now, and it's coming to Ohio. And there's the connection. It is coming into Ohio, so it's especially the Columbus area. But
I think it's already here.
Yeah,
according to Mahek Cook, it's worse in Ohio.
Well, according to her, it's worse in Ohio. And doing a little bit of research and stuff, I can't imagine how it's worse in Ohio than in Minnesota. But we'll get to some of that stuff. Well, I got a little clip from her too. But before we get into any of that, I really want to get a handle on some of the bills that you've put out. Can we talk about House Bill 134 here?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. First of all, thanks, you guys. I just really appreciate being with you every month. And this is our last time together this year. And I just want to thank you for all that you do. HB 134 it's called MECO, the Micro Enterprise Home Kitchen bill. And what it does, I think I've said this in the past, it should not be illegal to sell food out of your own kitchen. And currently in Ohio right now, if you are selling your grandma's favorite lasagna, or in my case, I love chicken tava, which is a Turkish dish, or chicken shawarma, which came from Saudi Arabia in my time there, you should be able to sell these things, or tamales, or whatever you want to sell besides baked goods. Right now, baked goods are allowed. But right now, anything that has meat in it or vegetables that is cooked, any cooked dish is illegal in Ohio. HB 134 makes it legal. There are a few foods that are carved out of the bill, but they're high risk foods, and that was to get the bill passed. And we do have the support now of the Department of Ag, Ohio Department of Ag, in this bill, as well as the people that inspect our kitchens and things like that. So basically, guys, very rarely does a mom or a dad that's cooking for their family poison their family. And I would argue that this is a common sense small business bill, great for Ohio, allows a 64-year-old grandma who thought she was retired but wants to earn a little bit of extra income out of her own kitchen to make a buck. And it makes it legal, and again, should not be necessary. But unfortunately, right now in Ohio, selling food out of your kitchen is illegal. This allows you to use your own kitchen without buying an industrial kitchen, which can cost you $50,000 to $150,000 to establish if you get an industrial kitchen. This allows you to use your own equipment and sell food right out of your own home. It's common sense. You talk about home-based business. This is not a multi-level marketing. This is literally a home-based business. So thanks
literally
for
coming right out of your home. And it's primarily, it's just for small income, right?
That's
I mean, you
right.
can't just like open some big, put an addition on your house and then have some kind of a bakery established.
That would be a zoning issue, Joe, for that local area. But if you are allowed to earn up to, and unfortunately, I would not have put an income limit on it, but we did put $150,000 income limit. Because like if you put meat in lasagna, obviously that dish is going to sell for a lot more money and a lot more overhead with the ingredients in it than a cookie, for instance. Perhaps, I mean, if people use an organic butter and all that, you might have really expensive cookies and cakes. But what I'm saying is that We did put a limit on income, and that's 150,000 in this bill. Now, just a reminder, it has only passed the House. It still needs to pass in the Senate. It needs to be referred in the Senate. Hopefully we'll get that referral real soon. And there's a really good chance that we can get this bill into law. And all we need now is the support of the Ohio senators. So, and since my senator is pro-business, I'm hoping that he also will spearhead this legislation. So
right. So I'm just looking at this. Okay, so you're one of the primary sponsors. So you put it through, and then you got a ton of co-sponsors, and I even see quite a few Democrat co-sponsors.
Yes.
So it's a bipartisan effort here, and you shouldn't have any trouble passing the Ohio Senate. I can't imagine it will. Can you give me a concrete example of somebody who would benefit from this?
Well, a lot of my district, I have a very diverse district. 33% of my district is Hispanic, Asian, Southwest Asia, all of those. Like I said, if I knew a woman who made a killer chicken tava, you guys probably haven't had that, but we have a Turkish restaurant here that calls it the chef, I think it's a chef stir fry or something in Turkish, but it's really awesome. It's tomatoes and chicken with special Turkish spices. If I had a woman who did that in her home, I would probably buy that for my family once or twice a quarter and just, support that. Chicken shawarma also is like, it's like a Greek gyro, only it's the Arabian version, and it's chicken in a pita wrap, and they're just lovely. And so
you're making me hungry. You're making me hungry. I can't take it. Give me some food somewhere. All right, let's go to another House bill.
I've got a question on it, Joe.
Yeah. Brian?
Okay. Representative Gross, you mentioned 150,000 in income.
Yes.
Is that gross revenue or is that profit to them?
It's gross revenue.
150 gross revenue.
Yeah.
Well, that's not profit.
No.
So if you spent 150,000 in materials and you didn't make any money, but that you couldn't say, well, whatever.
That was put in there by the Department of Ag, which serves at the pleasure of the governor, and so I was forced to put an income limit in there. That was not my preference, but in order to get the bill passed, there are things you have to do to get the camel's nose in the tent.
Yep.
And you work. But you try to work at another time for what you really want.
Well, the important thing is that you're cutting a lot of the red tape. And there's nothing that's more irritating to a person is if they want to make some pies and want to sell it out of the house, and all of a sudden a state of Ohio is saying, you can't do that.
That's right.
Get out of here. So at least this is a common sense law, that it just brings a lot of relief to people, okay?
That's right, Joe.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's how I see it as being more
Liberty and freedom is always a fight worth fighting. Always.
Hey, House Bill 134 we just talked about, so I want to go to this other House bill that you put together. And this is House Bill 359. House Bill 359, and this is the state's emergency alert system, the Joshua Alert.
Yeah, this is a very sad bill. There was a little boy in my district, and this is, it's sad, but it is what a legislator should do. You need to drop some of the things you're working on personally and then take up the things that your district needs. This little boy, Joshua Al-Latif, was a little 6-year-old boy with autism who got out of his home. And I know that parents who are listening with autistic children, which we know that, 1 in 83 or 1 in 88 boys specifically in children, we're having a rise in autism. Parents with children with autism, they fear their children getting out. Often children, not always, but often children with autism don't interpret the world the same way that other children do. They don't interpret, they are attracted to water typically, and this little boy was like that. He got out of his home. His mom was very diligent, but there's only, you know what I mean? You turn your back, you go to the bathroom, whatever. He got out of the house, and for 6 hours, they searched and searched. My Westchester PD, who is amazing, as well as the support from even some of our extended parole officers. People were out really beating the bushes looking for this little boy, and Joshua was found and we weren't able to connect our emergency alert, which is the Amber Alert for a abduction, or a missing adult, we were not able to connect our emergency alert system to alert the local area that Joshua was missing. And when we found him, unfortunately, in a retention pond in Westchester, in my district, he had passed away. And so this bill is an answer to hopefully prevent any other child like this being lost. And it does also cover confused adults, people with dementia and things like that, to be able to be reported to your local police. And the system is already set up, if you will, so the cost of the bill is minimal, if anything at all. It's a common sense bill, HB 359 for Joshua Alati.
So does a person call 911 and then they would alert?
Yes, you would call your local police like you would any other emergency, tell them the situation, and quickly they will connect and they will mobilize.
Very good. All right, let's just go around the horn here for a minute. Brian, do you have anything, either Bill, that you want to ask our state rep?
Yeah, that is that really is a sad story that you told us. I thought that would already be in place. What is missing when you call 911? Is there's no connection between 911 and?
There was no way, Brian, to alert the community. No, remember that with an Amber Alert, you get that alert on your phone. Now we can use the Amber Alert system for a missing child that is not abducted. Remember, Amber Alert is a child abduction. And so, unfortunately, the way the laws are, you have to, in order to change the law, you've got to tweak the law. And in order to make it connect, we still had to make legislation to connect a missing child and use it similarly as an abducted child. So
thank you.
So this connects that. It was only the Amber Alert is only for a missing child abducted by a parent or kidnapped or something like that.
Gotcha.
This allows your community to know.
I like both bills. I'm very keenly interested in both and am hoping for the best outcome. The only thing I think I might add to the conversation is concern about what we categorize as regulation. We've seen in a number of different industries, including mine, what I like to refer to as weaponized regulators, or regulators that, I guess for lack of a better blanket way of describing, tend to turn a blind eye to mega corporate fraud and malfeasance and really pick on the small business. And that's been a common thread. We've been talking about it for a decade. I'd be surprised if anyone in our audience isn't aware of that existing concern. And where 134 is concerned, I guess I'll say suspicious or cautious. Maybe cautious is a better word. Of regulators that favor mega restaurant. Like you look at these big chains that make billions and billions of dollars, and you're effectively relying on a system that's trying to create some balance and allow for micro food sales that compete directly with the mega. And in many of these industries, that conflict tends to skew in favor of the mega corporation. What could we do to balance that out and tip the scales back more in favor of the small business?
Well, it's a great question, Jonathan. The Department of Ag, probably through the governor's office, wanted to add $350,000 to my bill. But anyone who's listening within the earshot of this program knows that I'm a fiscal conservative. I do not add spending to the state budget. We were talking a little bit about that before we came on tonight. And I pushed back. I gave them everything. They asked for 14 different things. They wanted an income limit. They wanted all of that in this bill. I gave them everything they asked for, except the one thing. And that was they wanted to add $350,000 for more inspections so that they could come in. Now, in the bill, the person pays $50 for an inspection annually. That's part of doing business. Okay. But unless there's a need, they would come in once a year, or if there was a complaint or some food poisoning or something, they wouldn't come back more often. And I think that you kind of stumbled on, how do we know these people aren't going to be victimized? How do we know they aren't going to be harassed by the government through regulatory red tape? And that was
Right.
me pushing back. They wanted to put that $350,000 in there, and that's an appropriation. The other thing is that, and I fully expect that they're going to try to do that in the Senate. So if you guys would just push it out there, we do not want to add spending through the state. We do not need more regulation. There is $50 for an inspection to add to the cost of the Department of Ag or the Department of Health, whoever does those inspections for them. It can be split between those agencies. We do not need more inspections for home-based businesses that are selling food. If you look at the internet, you will see that most food poisoning comes from high factory production or restaurant chains and things like that who got their food huge portions. Women and men who are feeding their families don't typically poison them. So I believe that actually a home-based business is safer, and actually probably you are less likely to be poisoned by food poisoning through a home-based business feeding you chicken shawarma or a fresh tamale.
The food's going to be a lot healthier for you too.
That's
Yep.
right.
It'll
That's
be a
exactly
lot healthier.
I agree.
Real ingredients too.
So I hope, Jonathan, that helps you a little bit. I did push back in that vein. The inspections are exactly the same as we do for big restaurants.
Good. Thank you.
Let's just talk about a couple other things here for a minute. I need a little bit of clarification on the Ohio General Revenue Fund. Okay, so the General Revenue Fund in Ohio, because I got some other numbers here. So this is just the taxes that are collected.
Yes, we're screaming. Our economy is really booming in Ohio, but go ahead.
Okay, that's good news. Yeah, that's great news.
Yep.
So I noticed, I'll just throw out some numbers here, but you got to help me out here because I'm not really sure where I'm going with this. But in 2021, $39 billion was the General Revenue Fund. That was the amount collected. The following year, there was $1 billion increase, collected an extra $1 billion. In 2023, a year later, it increased another $2 billion. And in 2024, there was no increase, but in 2025, then it increased another $2 billion. So we're just more prosperous. How is it? How is the General Revenue Fund increasing every year by $1 billion or $2 billion or whatever?
Our economy is doing great, and it's just that our legislature we need to do the Penny Jordan recommended by Representative Beth Lear, but the idea was originally, God rest his soul, through Chris Jordan, who I just adored. Beth and I both tried to spearhead the Penny Jordan, which would have cut spending in the government itself by 1% per agency. And we didn't do it in the budget. So we're collecting more in revenue and taxes, in sales taxes and taxes, but we're spending more. So that's what you're seeing. Then there was inflation. So
I guess that's my point with all of this. If we're increasing $1 billion, $2 billion every year, it seems like the State House is just finding a way to spend that $1 billion or $2 billion every year, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, certainly. I mean, I it's so frustrating to Dave Ramsey reps like me who feel that we need to determine what are our needs and our wants. And just because there is a budget that's coming up doesn't mean that we should automatically increase 3.5%. You know, we have a federal inflation rate, right? And Jonathan will be able to correct me on my terms here. But we had a federal inflation rate that was about, I think, 1.7 in the last couple of years. And yet our Medicaid spending per patient per month rate went up. You know, they wanted to increase it 3.5%. So why are we increasing greater than the federal inflation rate for anything? I mean, the government should not be making money off the middle class taxpayer, of which I am one, which is why I fight so hard. I don't sit around going, oh, let them eat cake. I'm a middle class person. And I'm constantly fighting for why do we need this? What every little thing. So I think you know the answer, Joe. The fact of the matter is we're collecting more money and all we do is spend more.
Find ways to spend it.
we've
That
gotta
just seems
cut
to be the government way, though.
Hey, Joe.
That's right.
If they are collecting a billion or 2 billion more, you would think that maybe they would lower taxes or something, but no, it's just the opposite. If they collect more money, they just got to find a way to spend it.
Now,
Yeah, that's
I'm in
what's
Butler
happening,
County.
for sure.
I enjoy one of the lowest sales taxes in the state, not the lowest. I've compared, and you can go and look up county sales tax just by doing a Google search or whatever search engine you use. But we're one of the lower sales taxes in the state, or at least in the lower 25%. So I do enjoy that here in Butler County. But yeah. But we are still collecting a lot of money. I think our coffers in Butler County have gone from somewhere from 60 million to 100 million in savings. So don't quote me on that, Butler County. Our commissioners will be able to set us straight on that.
I'm glad you mentioned Butler County, because in my county of Geauga, I happen to be looking at the general fund revenue and expenses, and I've actually been talking about it significantly over the past couple of weeks. The Geauga County 2026 tax budget, it's gone. It shows me, and I wish I could screen share. You know what? Look on Ohio Political News on the Facebook page. I'll post this image. It's a telling image. It's just a simple chart that shows expenses and revenue. The expenses from 2018 to current have gone up in matching pretty much lockstep with the revenue that's coming in. And revenue has skyrocketed from 35 million to 47.5 million. So what we're seeing in Geauga County, and I think this is true across the board in every county and across the state of Ohio, there's more money coming in, but we've got counties finding creative ways of spending it at roughly the same pace it's coming in. And actually, unfortunately, in my county of Geauga, we're projecting, even though revenues are way up, that's money in, the money coming in is way up, but we're projecting in 2026 to outspend. Our expenses have gone up faster than the increased money coming in, which is
That's a great point.
It's atrocious.
That's a great point, Jonathan. And that's why people say to me that, you know, a lot of times, and I love local government, I love local control and all of that. But this is why people push back and say not all local government is spending wisely. And so we can't just carte blanche say that there are certain levels of government that do it perfectly and only the state is bad. I would argue that we all have equal rot. We all have equal bad spending. And the problem is that every single one of you gentlemen on this call, on this podcast, and the people that are out there listening need to run for office, because people like us that have never seen the inside, like myself 5 years ago, you must run for office so that you can see the inside. So save your money now so that you can run, so that you can see the inside and bring that common sense into the State House, so that we need this fresh look at what are you guys doing? Why am I seeing this waste? Ask the question. The group think happens. And, I'm not a big, term limits, I believe, are harmful in some cases. But in this case, I would argue that we need to have some fresh views that come in so that you have a few more rebel rousers. Now, unfortunately, you'll lose one in me. I just pulled my last petition for my last run. But Jonathan, really great point, because local government still has its issues as well. Every person in government, it's always, come on, guys, you guys have children. Whose kids? I know there's a few kids out there that spend their parents' money wisely, but it's never the same when you didn't earn it. Agreed? It's never the same. Right. And I think government is the same. If you're spending other people's money, it's easier to spend.
Yeah. I agree with your comments, and I agree with you, and I agree almost completely. The one area I'll draw some distinction is in local versus state versus federal. Local, at least I stand a chance of having an impact.
True.
At the state level, I've been working at it for years. I probably occasionally have maybe put a little dent in here or there, but I have little hope at the state level, and I have no hope at the federal level. That's why I tend to target, and I encourage everybody out there, if you're encouraged to get active in politics, start local, because you're much more likely to have a local impact. Then in my county, we have a lot of townships. Get involved, meet your township trustees, start going to commissioners' meetings. I went to one specifically when I started seeing this budget. We had, and this, in my book, this is just one of those, it's the straw that broke the camel's back. I was looking at this stuff and learned that my county was doing an office renovation for one of our county elected employees, a $400,000 office renovation. I mean, what kind of office looks like, what does that get you? That's a really nice house for somebody. $400,000 for an office.
Yeah, you got that kind of tax money, a $400,000 office renovation. That's terrible. That's got to be reported, and you got to raise holy heck about that. This just getting too carried away with these legislators and stuff.
Joe, I can add in something to that. Again, in Lake County, I've been saying for many years that there are no checks and balances for the average taxpayer with these taxing authorities. Supposedly, the governor passed that bill for the Budget Commission that's giving them some authority, but they're going to have a spine to fight the various unions on the schools. But we've got a Lake Tran. They don't have property taxes, but they have a sales tax, and they can't spend the money fast enough, and they've got over $50 million, but they still needed to pass another 0.25% sales tax. But there's no one, if they've got a board that is of the mindset that they're going to continue to get as much money as they can in. Not the commissioners can't do anything about it, and I just feel bad for the taxpayers. We say that everything is local and you should be able to control it. There are no checks and balances. Personally, I've been yelling to the commissioners for a long time on that.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. There are no checks and balances. That's the whole problem.
And that's why transparency, and this is what I'm struggling with in Ohio Medicaid, the hiding of not seeing exactly where the money is going. There cannot be too much transparency in government ever. There needs to be more transparency, and the people demanding that they know where every single dime is going. Every single one. No waste.
Well, if we can ever get that transparency moving here in Ohio, and that should be the goal. If we can get transparency, we would be in great shape.
I can't tell you, Joe, one other thing is I've reached out to Greg Lawson of the Buckeye Institute, because I tried to take a look at the Ohio checkbook and tried to compare revenue 2017 through 2025 and versus expenses, and I was having difficulty trying to navigate that. So I reached out to the Buckeye Institute, and hopefully next week we'll be able to fill you in on what I have learned. But he was telling me it's not easy to navigate, and they're doing it on purpose. So we're going to pull back the curtain on that.
Good. I didn't even think about that. See, this is why we're a government of the people, for the people, and by the people, Brian. Because when we're functioning all together, when you have a fighter like me with you, and you are watching and we're working together, that is the ideal way government's supposed to work. Not because we're perfect, but because we're partnering together to try to make it better.
Okay,
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you very much. Yeah, very good. All right, guys, let's switch to another topic here tonight, if we could. Let's just talk a little bit about some of these. Let's talk about some of the statewide races. Ramaswamy going against Amy Acton, but also we had another individual who jumped in. And help me with his name. Is it Push or Put or whatever? What is his name? He jumped in as well.
Corey.
Okay, Corey. Casey, isn't it Casey?
Casey. Oh,
is it Casey Put?
Whoops.
I don't know what the heck the guy's name is. But I want to say something here first. It says I got this text from somebody, and she makes a really good point. And she was saying that you just can't walk in at the last minute. You don't walk into a statewide Ohio primary 6 months late with no money, no donors, no constituents, no endorsements, no party backing, and call it a campaign. That's not courage, that's fantasy, which it is. And then she's, I think she's referring to that individual, Casey or Push or whatever his name is. Maybe it's Casey Push. That could be the guy's name.
Joe,
However,
but we're still talking about him, though.
we're still talking.
right.
Well, sort of. We can't figure out his name, but we're talking about it. But it's anybody who wants to come in at a late, because all he's doing is bashing Ramaswamy. Bash, bash, bash. Okay, I know Ramaswamy's not perfect, but I don't understand how somebody's going to come into the race, have no backing with the Republican Party or anything. All they're going to do is just bash about Ramaswamy. Now, there are things to bash Ramaswamy about, but there's a heck of a lot of good things to push. And when you look at the options, Amy Acton, Ramaswamy, I think, that's pretty obvious right there.
Case closed.
Yeah,
Dr. Lockdown, not for Ohio.
Well, there are still a lot of people talking about Heather
Dr.
Hill.
Lockdown, right.
Yeah, Heather, I agree with Jonathan.
Yeah,
Heather Hill
there's
is
still a
another
lot of people
candidate.
talking, and her running mate. Sorry, Brian, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, it's okay. Go
Her
ahead.
running mate is he was a guest on this program a couple of weeks ago.
Who's that?
I actually liked him.
Yeah, Heather Hill. Okay, I'll tell you, Heather Hill is fine, and the lieutenant governor that she picked, Moats, Stuart Moats, I think.
Huh.
Yes.
I can't remember names. Okay, but again, guys, we got to get realistic here. Amy Acton is going to get this from Big Pharma. I know she is. Big Pharma is going to support her. I know the Democrats ain't thrilled with her. They wanted Tim Ryan and Allison Russo. That's who they wanted. And that would have been a pretty formidable opponent to go up against Ramaswamy for governor. But you got Amy Acton in there. And here are some of my thoughts. Why did Governor DeWine pick Amy Acton? I think there's got to be a Big Pharma connection. All right? And that she was, Big Pharma can use her, can work with her. And Big Pharma's going to throw money behind her. You guarantee she's going to come through this with a lot more money in her bank account than you think.
So I'm going to go. Can I say something, Joe? So I'm going to go here. I'm not so sure Corey Casey, Butcher, or these people. I think they want to try to make Ramaswamy spend money in the primary so that he's weaker in the general. So I think Dems are actually they're actually weak and they're actually scared. But I also believe that there could be someone who does not want Ramaswamy, even in our own camp, putting these people up against Ramaswamy. And this is politics. It's a nasty full contact sport. And I just say, the art of war says, you know what? You stay focused. You stay focused on the battle at hand. Do not look to the left or the right. Don't get caught in by the fog of war. I believe Ramaswamy wins. He has got the lead. He is in the lead for the primary. He focuses as much as he has to, spending as little as possible to win the primary. And then he pounds Acton in the general. That is where, we need to go. But Ramaswamy arguably needs a very strong lieutenant governor candidate.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. That's a good segue into some interesting discussion. So there's three. There's Frank LaRose, Robert Sprague, Christina Rogner. That's what I've heard. Those three.
And Jennifer Gross.
And Jennifer Gross.
You guys, so you've been
It's our
holding out on me. You actually hate me. No. I appreciate your vote of confidence, though. I obviously I've worked with Christina Rogner in the legislature. I think that we could use Lieutenant Governor Rogner. I think that would be a great choice. I do like Sprague. And of course, LaRose is a combat veteran with myself. I think that if you take Sprague out of the race, though, so it's political, right? So if we took Sprague out of the race for SOS, that clears the field for Marcel Sturbridge
Yeah,
to
it
win
would. It would.
SOS. So,
That'd
I
be
think
spectacular.
yeah, when we look at the adjustment, and there's a lot of talk about people not wanting Rogner to leave her race for treasurer because they want her to be treasurer, and so there's kind of like people who want her to stay put. So that leaves LaRose, who's looking for a place to land, right? Because I don't
Sure.
think he has any other career aspirations right now. Is he running for any other office or
Yeah.
no?
Oh, yeah,
Wait
he
a minute.
is. He is. He
No.
is running
Running.
for I think,
Auditor.
auditor.
Yes,
I think he's running for
for
auditor. But
So-
the funny
Oh.
thing is, he, Christina Rogner, and Robert Sprague, they haven't officially signed anything. Okay.
No.
They've got the endorsements, and they're just waiting. They're waiting like vultures. Okay, who is Ramaswamy
Right.
going to pick? And then they're going to go hover in and grab an open chair.
Do you guys think Ramaswamy, because he's Hindu, do you think he does need what I'm hearing in my district, and it's not really fair, and we believe in religious liberty and all of that in Ohio, just like our constitutions, both the US and the state, talk about. But I do believe, for my conservative base, we do need probably a strong Christian, Catholic, Christian, Protestant, somebody as his running mate.
Oh,
Do you guys
absolutely.
think that
Absolutely.
matters? Because
Absolutely. Oh,
I
yes.
think I'm hearing that down here in Southwest Ohio. So,
Yeah, I've been hearing
you
that
know.
too. I mean, I've had people say that they won't vote for him if he's not a Christian. Yeah, they don't want to vote for him because he's not a Christian. So anyhow, you heard anything about that in your neck of the woods out there?
I have. I will say, and I know people aren't going to be super happy with me about this. I know there are some things that he needs to talk about that he hasn't spoken about yet, and I'm not going to bring them up. But I did endorse Vivek Ramaswamy early on because I do believe of the people that are running, he has the best chance to win. And I do believe that we believe in diversity in Ohio, and I do believe that he has the absolute potential to be a great governor. So I jumped in. I'm very seldom do I jump in early, but I did, and I don't regret it. So I do believe he's the clear winner in the primary, and then he needs a strong running mate, but he needs to win the primary first.
And,
I
and like you were saying there, if he does take Robert Sprague, which is one of the top three, then that would open the seat for Marcel Stribich. Wouldn't that be something? I would love to
That
see
would
Marcel
be
get
amazing.
in. Marcel is a huge underdog, but that would be a way for him to slide in. That would be
conservative
an awesome
win, and a conservative win to bring new blood into the statewide. Where
yeah.
I think a lot of
somebody
people-
somebody who actually knows what they're doing, other than just
Yes.
trying to get an empty seat,
And
statewide seat. Hey,
people are tired of the same names, right?
Yeah, I am too.
Tired of the same names.
Absolutely. All right, let's. Kent has joined us. I can tell because the chat room is now gone into high gear. Got any good ones? Any good chats there,
I can't
Kent? You
see
want
it.
to throw at us here? We'll read a few of them if you
Repeal
can.
House Bill 188. Which one
Yeah.
is 188?
I have no idea what 188 is. Repeal House Bill. We'd have to Google it. But what else you got? You got
They need to
anything
tell
else?
us, when you guys tell us and write us about bills, you need to look, we have over almost 700 bills. You need to tell me the topic. So is that the one with DJ Swearingen and Will Williams for the
No, that's
So
all right.
look it up. That was
Yeah, we'll
that
look
was,
it up. That's not.
Rep.
That's,
Gross, that
don't
was
worry
in
about
one
it.
of the
I'll
comments.
figure it out before the end of the later on in the show, and we will.
Yeah, them
we'll
there's
look it up.
fighting words, dudes. You got to give me a topic.
All right. I would like to. We got a few minutes here. Are we able to go into this whole mess with the Medicaid and all that? Do we have time? Do you think? Or
Sure. Hey, you guys know we always run out of time before we run out of things to talk about. So I'll go wherever you want to go. It's my honor to be with you, and just say the word.
all right, we'll give it a shot here. I know I have another guest coming on at 8, but he could. I know who he is, and maybe we'll throw.
That's good.
Maybe we'll
He's
just
your
put him
guest.
back a few minutes so we can cover this. All right, I want to show you this. I want to show you this clip. You guys are going to be amazed at this. This kid, he's 23 years old. His name is Nick Shirley, and he uncovered literally hundreds of millions of dollars of waste fraud in Minnesota in one day. In one day, he just simply took his camera and decided to go to some of these healthcare facilities that are run by the Somalians. in Minnesota. Watch this. I just chopped out a couple minutes of it. Oh, check this out.
A list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare. Yes, we'd like to speak.
Real quick, he is in a facility. He is in one building. They have 14 healthcare facilities, okay? 14 healthcare businesses in this facility.
Getting healthcare here? No. Why can't I get healthcare here? No, wait. Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare. Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands, Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think's been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that gentlemen matching your description were in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
Okay.
No, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay.
So
He's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just checking.
No, this is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason that you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside of this building. No one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from now multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
Yeah.
So
As we got escorted out of this building, the Somalis filmed us as we left, and we headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home health care providers operating from inside of the building.
Right here you have.
Okay, so then he goes over to the building basically right across the street, and there's 22 more healthcare providers. All right. This kid taking his camera with him, just going to Minnesota and just doing this basically on his own. He's a YouTuber. He's uncovered hundreds of millions of dollars of fraud in just that little bit of time. It's amazing. He sent his video, which is 40 minutes long, by the way, because he was out there the whole day. He sent it to Elon Musk. He sent it to President Trump. He has gotten 50 million views on his YouTube channel for that. 50 million. All right. I just want to throw this out to our great state rep here, but we have a lot of problems in Columbus. That's why I threw that out there that are very similar to what that young man uncovered. And I think the first thing that comes to my mind, Jennifer, is how can a kid with a camera go into and uncover hundreds of millions of dollars of fraud when you have auditors, you have attorney generals, you have all of these paid organizations that are supposed to be, scrutinizing everything, and nobody is paying any attention. Seems weird, doesn't it?
Now, I would say that in June of 2025, AG Yost did have about 10 cases, anywhere ranging from $1,300 to 6 and 7 figures of fraud in Ohio. There were home care agencies, and that is, you can just Google it right now. All the listeners can Google that and see the names of the people, and they're there. But I would also say, as we were talking about earlier, guys, Columbus proper has 22,899 Somalis, primarily refugees escaping natural disasters and civil war. However, the Trump administration, after the shooting and murder of one of our guardsmen, the Trump administration has said we now will begin looking at these refugees that are coming in under asylum seekers. And we will be more stringent on that because of what is happening in these cases. So it does take time, but I would also say that it isn't just healthcare providers that are doing this. We also have individuals who maybe misrepresent how much they're making on their income from Medicaid. And so these cases, one by one, we will find them. And me, as chair of Medicaid and soon to be the chair of the Joint Medicaid Oversight Committee, we were discussing this earlier. I think it would be prudent if we bring in our fraud detection unit so the people of Ohio can actually see what we're doing. And then, I don't see it here, but I do have a 1-800 number for you guys to tell you what the number is for people to call if they know about fraud and they know Medicaid benefits are being abused. They can either call the fraud detection unit at the Ohio AG's office, or they can report it directly to Ohio Medicaid. And I encourage, if you actually have, and we do encourage people to report anonymously. I do have that number too. Can I give it to you guys?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
The Ohio Medicaid Fraud Control Unit complaints can be filed at 614-466-0722. The challenge is, though I'm aware of one case of where I don't have a lot of friends that are on Medicaid. So in order for me to understand and see the fraud personally, I have to know it exists. I do know of one case and some income fraud that's going on. I know of other legislators who have been told about this. We've got to one by one make examples of these so that people are afraid to rob you, the taxpayer, because they're robbing the state. But who is the state? It's you. And this is not okay. We cannot do this. It makes me angry to watch that video. I'm so thankful for that young man, 23 years old. Yep. And he took the time and he knew to do that. But guys, part of this is transparency. People hide what's going on in government. And if we have stink and rot inside spending in government, the only way that we can get in and get that rot out is to know it happens, and we need people to report it. Because we can't know it. If we don't know it, we can't do anything about it.
Okay, I just I want to say something here real fast. Now I'll go around the horn, and then we'll have to get our next guest in. And I love having you on this show, but I want to show you guys something. So this kind of spawned some investigators, okay? So there's a guy by the name of Brian Beal. And Brian Beal is just an average, everyday guy. He decided to do his own research in Columbus on some of these Somalian health cares, okay? So I pulled a few of them off X. He had a ton of them. But here's one of them right here. Now, this one here is it's a child care center, and Hamada Muhammad is he's the administrator. Anyhow, if you can read that, it says smoke shop. It's got a smoke shop.
That's not a good
sign.
combination.
No.
Okay,
and
here's
it's a
another one.
licensed child care center.
Here's another, Benatti Child Care in Franklin County again. I can't even pronounce the guy's name. Again, it's Somalian. But the doors are all bolted shut. They got iron bars across it. All the windows, you can't see in anything, okay? But that's child care. It's a child care facility. Plus, there's never any vehicles in their driveway. All right, never any.
Can I say something too?
And
Yet
here's
they
one
wanna
more.
harass
Here's one more, and I'll
restaurant.
let you fill it in. This one I can't even believe, but you see, there's a dilapidated building behind all those branches, and that dilapidated building has 30. And this one's in Columbus as well. It's got 30 healthcare and daycare operating out of it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay? So the fraud is so obvious, guys. It doesn't take a detective. This Brian Beal is not a YouTuber or anything. He just got motivated to do a little bit of, he didn't even leave his computer. He just did the images through Google Maps. He did a bunch of them, and those are just 3 of them. All right, let me go around the horn real fast. And Brian, anything?
Yeah. Well, what bothers me is Jennifer earlier talked about the bill that she presented, where they wanted, was it 350,000 or 250,000 to do some checking on home businesses where they're cooking their specialty. Now, if they can check the homes and they're charging $50 for an annual inspection, who's inspecting this down in Columbus? It's the responsibility of the government to do that. So somebody should be held accountable.
Yeah.
But we don't. So there's no checks and balances on it. They just do it.
That's right. I mean, I see this person writing, you guys are true. Yes. But we are a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. If we also don't want to become communist. We can't like tear doors down and do just under suspicion. We need evidence too. And we do have, I have the Medicaid fraud, which I'm part of the Medicaid system, but the Medicaid fraud detection unit has approximately, I don't know, I had opened it up, 161. The AG's office for fraud detection has about 161 employees who are investigating fraud all around. So they do have to pick the ones that are the highest or that they know about. And they had, I forget, about 1,160 complaints and about 460 convictions. You can look it up online. And all of those cases take litigation and time. And so we need to know. I mean, this is disgusting. It makes me want to like throw up when I see this. Obviously, we are required to act on this. Obviously, we are required to act, and something needs to happen, that these LLCs need to be, and you talk about, Brian, to your point, $350,000 to talk about home-based business. I would say we need to spend way more than 350. But again, guys, remember we talked about our GRF. Where is the money going to come from? We have to stop spending, move money around in our budget and move it into fraud detection, not increase spending because we go, look, we have fraud problems and we're going to spend more of the people's money. We have to stop spending. I mean, 51% of our spending in Ohio right now is Medicaid alone. Obviously, there's fraud there, and we need to go after that, and we are. But I cannot justify, even with seeing this, spending more of your money. And that's what big government will do. They'll come to you, see this, see all this? We need to spend millions more dollars to help you solve this. Okay, so the middle class pays again. We've got to decrease spending, guys. You live within a budget, and so does your state legislature need to live within our means and not keep taxing you to do our job. So we need to move money around with the money you have given us already and cut what we're already spending and spend it more wisely.
100% agree.
100%. Well, I want to thank you coming on. I think we have another guest. I better
thank you, Representative
double check and make sure.
Guys.
But
thank you, Rep Gross.
Rep Gross, thanks again for coming on. Hey, Merry Christmas. I know it's belated, but Merry Christmas.
It's okay.
Happy New Year. Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
And
Thanks, you guys.
we really appreciate you getting all dressed up for us. You said you got
Thank
dressed
you.
up just for
I
us.
got my
Look
New
at that.
Year's clothes on to be with you guys and Jason. Hi, Jason. And it's just my honor to be with you guys. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you for giving me a voice because, as you know, the murder threats really, really dampened my ability to really be out there a lot in public. I don't have my own security force, though I do often carry. I got my own.
I'm sorry that you had to do that. I really feel bad that you've got to do that.
You know what?
That is,
you guys allow me to be here, and as long as you keep asking me every month, I will be back. And I appreciate you more than you know. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless.
God bless.
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Way to go.
Thank you.
Have a great New Year. There he is.
Joe, hold on, Joe.
Okay, yes, Ken.
just wanna-
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, we
Hang on,
we want to
Jason.
thank I want to thank RH Wagner for the 5 gifts tonight. YO_GI just took advantage of one of the gifts. So there's actually going to be 3 more gifts that people can take advantage of in the chat room on Rumble. So thank you very much for the 5 gifts tonight. And then also last week we had 50 stars. Let me check who that was. I think that was it was on Facebook, and we appreciate those immensely for the support. Let me see if we can find that name really quick.
And we want people to subscribe, right?
Yeah.
Please subscribe. Subscribe.
Well, no, the gifts that's even better because they are supporting us. It's so thank you for the basically $25 for the 5 gifts. So I appreciate that tonight on Rumble. And then we got 50 stars on Facebook from Scott Siegel. And we appreciate those 50 stars. If you are on Facebook, in the chat room, there's an icon with a star. If you want to support us, please click on that. And then in Rumble, you can hit the $ in the chat or the gift box because RH Wagner did that and supported us with 5 gifts. So we really appreciate that. That's helps us to continue to do this. So I really appreciate that. Also, click the follow on all the different platforms. Like us, subscribe. But thank you for the support, the actual financial support, because it does cost money to do this. So thank you, everybody, tonight and last week.
Thank you. Yeah,
and take advantage of the gifts. There are 3 gifts tonight that people can take advantage on Rumble to get into the Rumble subscribing. So thanks.
Thank you very much. And I just want to say one thing, that it does cost more money than you think, because we try to do live streaming. We try to get out and do live streaming at events like January 26th. We're going to be doing another tax town hall, and we live stream that. And that's pretty expensive. We have to go on location with some professional, semi-professional cameras. We live stream the event back to different platforms and stuff. So we do a lot of that too, and it all adds up. So any help is greatly appreciated.
We're live streaming on January 6th too, Joe.
Yeah, January 6th as well. That's coming up. Well, tell us what that's about real quick. What is that?
Yeah, that's unfortunately with the passing of Commissioner Rich Regovich, the Lake County Republican Party is tasked with appointing a replacement for Rich, and that will happen on January 6th. So people will get a chance to see how a Lake County, the Republican Party, how the whole thing works when their representatives, the local representatives, helps votes for them. So they'll be able to see how it really works. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. The more we can do, the more we can get out and do some live streaming and stuff, the better it is. Jason Barnhart is with us here tonight. Jason, how are you, man? It's good to see you.
I'm good. Yes, I'm good. Merry Christmas to you all. and a happy new year. We are so close of entering 2026, and I'm so excited to see what the new year has in store for us.
Well, you have an interesting you got an interesting discussion you want to have tonight, because this is politics, and I'm sure we're going to swing into politics with it. But I think you wanted to talk a little bit about your faith. And and you're 19, or are you 20? I keep forgetting.
I'm 19 years old.
He's 19. He's got a strong faith.
Yay.
And we want to hear a little bit about your strong faith, okay?
Absolutely. So I started my entire career, I guess, in politics, only thinking that politics only mattered. We thought that all these politicians in our lifetime would have all the answers with us. And as I kept looking back and back and back at the system, I kept getting more questions. And those questions were never getting answered until I actually dove into Scripture. And I knew the questions that I kept asking were not the questions that I should have been asking. Because whether you're president, whether you're governor, whether you're just a mayor, it doesn't matter where you are, because when we die, we're not taking those titles with us. We're not taking our wealth. We're not taking our fame. We're not taking anything with us. The only thing that really matters, and everybody misconstrues this, the only thing that truly matters is our faith. That should be number one. And I think politicians today don't realize that. They put career over faith, and the only time they mention it is when the cameras are on, but they never practice it.
Which is a major problem. But I wouldn't just
Absolutely.
signal out politicians.
Yeah, not you, Jennifer.
That's
not you,
pretty
Jennifer.
much.
No, not you. Not you.
I think that's everybody. I mean, almost everybody. But we all need to hear this. I need to hear it. So if you got more, keep it coming. I need to hear this.
Well, sometimes I get super fired up and I go at that point. But my representative for the 80th District, Jennifer Gross's hopefully good friend, Jonathan Newman, he's been a great mentor for me.
Yes.
He's shown me so much of how faith has to come first. And when he was running for office, he didn't really care about his campaign. He cared about getting me back into faith. He cared about getting me back into church. And in June, I was baptized. And in August, I became a member at my church. All these different things after meeting one guy that God put in my life and changed the entire path forward. It's funny how God can change one person's life by one person, bringing them into your life. I think we have so many people today that worship politics. We have so many people that worship and that idolize people in office. And I keep thinking back to a good song. I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs. It's a good classic gospel hymn. It's called Little Is Much When God Is in It. And the chorus goes, labor not for wealth or fame, but there is a crown you can win if you go and call on Jesus' name. That right there says it all. You're not taking your wealth with you. You're not taking your fame with you. You're not taking anything with you. I would rather, if I wanted to become president one day, that's everybody's main mission sometimes. Everybody wants to go to the top. Everybody wants to have that moment. But it doesn't matter, because I don't want to be known as a person in office. I want to be known for my faith. I want to be known for spreading the gospel. God commands us in Mark 16:15 to go into all the world, preach the gospel to all his creation. He says, make disciples, get them baptized in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He doesn't say, be quiet about your faith. He says, explode with your faith, ignite your faith. Make sure your faith is the number one thing you tell everybody about. You go into restaurants, you go into a public, you wear a Trump hat, everybody looks at you. But if you go in a restaurant